Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Alaska. More specifically, welcome to Hyder, Alaska. This is the closest part of Alaska to the lower 48 that you can drive to. And I did that in the last video. I drove here in a day. I drove to Alaska in a day. It took 18 hours, and it was a lot of fun. I'll put a link to that video down below, to the previous video below if you want to check that out. And we're here at a bear viewing platform. This raised boardwalk is the Fish Creek Wildlife Viewing Area. And apparently I just missed a bear. I talked to a couple people over here who said that there was a bear wandering around earlier. So maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe we'll see one. This is the creek right here, Fish Creek. And it flows over to the viewing platform along the boardwalk here. And then right here we have this beautiful little pond. Look at the color of that. That's amazing. Oh, there's a little duck hanging out right there. I'm a couple weeks past the prime time to come here. Ideally, you come here in the spring, earlier in the spring, when the salmon are running up this creek, and that's why the bears are here. The bears are here to catch and eat and fatten up on the spawning salmon. I don't see any fish, I don't see any salmon in the creek here, but apparently the bears are still around. Apparently both grizzlies and black bears are here fishing. This is what grizzlies look like. They're bigger and they have that pronounced shoulder hump on them. And then black bears are smaller and usually, but not always, darker. Both bears can come in a variety of colors. The signs also said that as far as numbers of bears go, there are about 35,000 grizzly or brown bears in Alaska. And apparently they're called grizzlies on the interior and brown bears along the coast. But even though we are on the coast here, they still call them grizzlies, so who knows. And then there are about 1,000 grizzly bears in the lower 48, and there are 100,000 black bears in Alaska. I don't know the number of black bears in the lower 48, but I'll put that on the screen here. Also, I want to know the numbers of bears in British Columbia, which is right here. And so I'm going to put those on the screen too. This huge eagle just jumped in the water going after a fish in here. I've seen a couple. They're hard to get on camera. But I have seen some fish in here. I'm just up the road now from Fish Creek Wildlife Viewing Area, and that was a neat place. I enjoyed watching the birds there. Wish we could have seen a bear, but I was just a little bit too late, but that's okay. I'll survive. I'm now at a trailhead. It's called the Titan Trail, and I think it starts over here. I think it's a short trail to a little waterfall. And I say that with a question mark because I'm not entirely sure that's the case. This trail is obviously well marked here, and on my on the map of my phone there's a waterfall, but I don't know if you can see it from the trail. I don't know how good the waterfall is, how big it is, but we're gonna find out. But first I wanted to show you where exactly we are in the grander scheme of things. So here's a map of Alaska. We all know the general shape of Alaska. There's the big part, and then there's the Alaska Peninsula that extends off this way. Then there's that little sliver that extends along the coast way down here and extends down toward the lower 48. And that's where we are. So we are right at the bottom of that. We are right there. And on either side of that spot, so it's called, again, we're in Hyder, Alaska, just outside of Hyder. And to get here, it was all British Columbia. And then we're going to continue later on in this video going through the part of Alaska that we're in back into British Columbia over in this direction. Where we are now is this weird little enclave of the United States that you have to go through British Columbia to get to, and you can't really get to any other part of the US from here. And so, with that said, let's go hike this trail and see where it goes. This will be hard to see, but I think this is a bear track. You can see the kind of the bottom part of the pad, and then the toes are up here. Huh. And look at this. This looks like a Bigfoot footprint. Although, again, you can see the toes here. Looks like the back feet of a bear. And right here, can you see, let's see, I can't even see it when I look through the viewfinder, but can you see these toe prints right here? I think that's another bear footprint. Here we go. Here's one you can see pretty well with the toes and the big pad. Man, that is a big, that is a big bear. I have size 11 shoes. I've come to sort of a waterfall here. This section is maybe 30 feet high. It cascades down this little gully. I just crossed the creek on the trail and it continues on downward. I don't know if this is the waterfall that I'm going for, that I'm after. Obviously that is a waterfall, but I don't know if that is the waterfall that's marked on the map. The one that's marked on the map is a little bit farther up, so let's keep going a little ways and see if there's another one. Well, I think that waterfall is about as good as we're gonna get. The one that was marked on my map is called, I think, Silver Falls, and it's over here somewhere, and I can hear rushing water over there, but I don't think the trail goes close enough to actually see it. Maybe you can see it from the other side of the valley over that way, but from here, I don't think you can get to it. So I'm happy with that last one that we saw. That was a neat little waterfall, and more than that, it's been great to just get a close-up view of this forest. All the ferns, all the trees, the things growing on the trees, the footprints, the bear prints. It's just, it's a beautiful place to just wander. But, let's see, what time is it now? It's about noon, a little bit before noon. I'm gonna retrace my steps back to the car, and then from there, I think we're gonna go for a drive. We're gonna go farther up the valley that way. We're actually gonna go back into Canada, into British Columbia to see something. Although the weather is not, not cooperating, but we'll do our best. I'll see you down there. And by the way, if you were to continue up on this trail, I think it goes to the top of this mountain or near the top of this mountain. And on a clear day, that would have just amazing views of maybe the water and of the mountains in the valley. That would be great. But that'll have to wait for another day, another adventure. I think we just crossed into Canada, back into British Columbia. I just saw a speed limit sign that said 50 kilometers an hour. I thought there was going to be a monument or something, but maybe I missed it. But this diagonal line is the border, and we are on the right side of it, which means we are back in Canada. This might be the most remarkable place I've ever driven to. This is absolutely insanely beautiful. I cannot believe this. I mean, look at the light right now, like the lighting, the clouds on the mountains. It's just unfreaking believable. And there's a waterfall right behind the car, because of course there is. So this is a glacier, obviously. This is the Salmon Glacier. It is, I believe, the 5th largest glacier in Canada. And I read that it's the world's largest glacier that you can drive to. I don't know if that's true, but what a spectacular place. I've climbed up on top of this little mound of earth and rock right above the road. And I am just gobsmacked, guys. I mean, look at this over here and over here. It's just in every direction, wherever you look, there's something spectacular. The head of the glacier is up here, so the glacier starts over in this valley, flows down. Just look at that. River of ice. Indeed. Goes down that valley, hangs a right at this valley, and flows down toward the sea. Unbelievable. And just there's just something amazing, something beautiful in every direction. I'm struggling to know where to point the camera. I guess let me just, point it everywhere. This mountain behind me looks amazing too. We saw that a little bit in the drone footage. The waterfall is right, I guess it starts up there and then flows down to right here. And this whole valley is covered in waterfalls. I mean, they're everywhere. They're over here and down over here, and there are probably some over on this side. Yeah, I see, several over here. It's just incredible. The road came up from this direction, and it's actually a pretty good road. I think any vehicle can make it. There's a sign down below, closer to Hyder, closer to town, saying that you shouldn't take RVs and trailers up here, and yeah, I would agree with that. But apart from that, I mean, even a sedan could probably make it up here if you're willing to deal with the potholes a little bit. And then the road continues on as we pan across the glacier. The road continues on over to kind of the summit over here, and then goes down the other side. The summit is less than a mile away. I can see some of the vehicles over there. Right there. And these mountains that just got some new snow. I'm guessing in the last few days, or the last week, this is all brand new snow. Unbelievable. Also, the elevation here is about 3,500 feet. And the highest of the mountains in this immediate area is about 7,500 feet. There's one that's like 7,000 feet over here, and then one that's 7,500 feet over here. I don't know if it's this one that the clouds are obscuring or if there's one next to it, but pretty big. I mean, that doesn't seem high in absolute terms, but remember the sea is just over here. Sea level is not too many miles over in this direction, so the rise in such a short distance is impressive. And here's a look at the summit area. We have some parking and some picnic tables, a couple of bathrooms over there, and just more of the same epic views. You can see a little bit more of the glacier, like the upper portion of the glacier up this way. It's a wonderful place. Again, just absolutely unbelievably beautiful scenery. We have yet another glacier here. This is called the Granduc Glacier. And we are almost at the end of the road. This is an old copper mine in here. I think it's this right here that's been filled up. It's filled up with water. And then the road ends just another mile up over in this direction. It ends down here. So I think we're gonna go over there and check that out. There's lots of bugs. I don't know if these are mosquitoes or what, but they're coming after me. But look at that. More just incredible backcountry. Okay, let's go drive to the end. Actually, let me show you what was just behind the camera, because this is a great view too. So the Granduc Glacier was right here, and then we have beautiful mountains over this way, and then the end of the road is over here. I showed you that, but coming back over this way, you can see a bit of a glacier right there. Glacier right there. Lots of old mining machines and debris in the area. But hey, that's why this road exists. This road wouldn't exist without mining. And then beautiful mountains back over this way. Well, I said that our next stop would be at the end of the road, but I just can't let this go by. I can't pass this up. So this is just another view of the glacier there. Man. And then I also wanted to mention a few more things about the mine, I guess, as long as we're here. So again, I think that was the mine down there, the open pit mine. You can see some more mining buildings right there. Maybe this was the mine, I don't know. Anyway, this was called Granduc Mine. It ran from 1964 to 1984, I believe. And in 1965, there was an avalanche here that killed, I think, 28 men. Just terrible. I just saw over here a bridge. There it is. Do you see that right there? I thought the road ended there. I didn't realize there was a bridge there, so it keeps going. At least it keeps going to maybe just some mining stuff over here. I don't think it keeps going up the valley, but that is a gorgeous place. Well, it looks like we actually won't be getting to that bridge because there's a no trespassing sign over there. That's fine. We can still enjoy the amazing views over in this direction. And there is another road that keeps going over here, so let's go over this way a little bit more and see where it goes. And I misspoke earlier. I said that there were no roads going further up the valley, but this one, again, this one right here, goes farther up the valley. Like, if we zoom out, the road, like this dotted line, this dashed line right here, it keeps going up. And we ended up finding a bridge after all, going over this creek. This is as far as we're gonna go. But man, look at this. Look at this mountain that just came into view over this way. Incredible, incredible place. And back behind me, there's that. Unreal. Well, I'll see you guys at camp. Actually, before that, let me show you the river here. The river is really cool. Just milky, silty, white. Same story on the other side. Okay. Now I'll see you guys back at camp. Well, this is the most spectacular place I've ever camped. This is the most spectacular campsite I've ever had. And it's not even close. The campsite itself is nothing special. It's just a gravel pullout on the side of the road. There is a fire ring over here. People do camp here. but the view from the campsite, I mean, come on. I don't think I've ever had a campsite where I could look out on a glacier from my car window. And these pointy mountains to the right of the top of the glacier weren't visible earlier in the day. It's cleared up pretty nicely. Great views of this mountain right here. I love it. And then just across from the gravel pullout is this little peninsula. And that's where I was sitting earlier. So cool. I love it. We have a waterfall right there. So good. And this definitely isn't the only campsite up here with great views. I mean, there are 20 up and down the valley, down by the mine. There were great views looking in all directions. Like, you got options up here. Lots of options. Doesn't matter where you go, you're gonna have a campsite with some pretty incredible views. I hadn't planned on spending this much time in this area, but how could you not want to spend more time here? It's just incredible. Apart from the bugs, there are a lot of flies up here. I think that, I almost swallowed one. I think that in the summer, there would be just a trillion mosquitoes. I don't think these flies are biting me, but yeah, it would be a rough place to be in summertime. But worth it, I think, even if you had to brave the mosquitoes. And you know, the reason for, well, one of the reasons for me driving 18 hours yesterday to get here was that I saw that good weather forecast and I decided to go for it. I'm so glad I did. You know, the only other place I can think of that compares to the beauty and the majesty of this place is the Himalayas. Like, I've spent several months in Nepal. I've done a bunch of treks there, and this area doesn't have the scale of those mountains, but the beauty, like this time of year with the colors and, you know, the new dusting of snow on top of the mountains, it is just such a gorgeous place. And I appreciate you guys watching. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your favorite part was. Let me know what your experiences have been like here if you've been to this area. I love it. And I'll see you in the next one. Be sure to check out Adventure Know-How, my new site, where you can gain access to a map of all of my free campsites, plus monthly bonus videos that you won't find anywhere else. Learn more at adventureknowhow.com. And for links to everything else SUV RVing related, visit suvrving.com. Links to these sites and more will be in the video description.